Hey guys, MBB here. So today I've got Skull Servants, which it's a really fun deck, one of my personal favorite decks. Basically, you try to get all these Skull Servant cards in your graveyard. There are a lot of monsters that have their names treated as Skull Servant when they're in the graveyard, so you can just get a ton of them in the graveyard, and then you're gonna summon this guy, King of the Skull Servants, whose attack is equal to the number of Skull Servants and King of the Skull Servants in your graveyard times 1,000. So you could get this guy up to like crazy high numbers, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, just crazy attack, right? So you're actually able to do this pretty quick by utilizing the danger cards. So the danger cards allow you to basically just like spam your board. They allow you to make link plays, which is something that Skull Servants can't normally do. And they also allow you to get a lot of cards in the graveyard fairly fast. So you play a lot of danger cards. So the 2 Bigfoot, 2 Thunderbird, 1 Nessie because it's limited sadly, the 2 Mothman, 2 Chupacabra, 2 Tsuchinoko, and 2 Jackalope. So very thick danger line. Also, obviously we have 3 of all the Skull Servant cards. So Skull Servant, the OG guy, 3 White Princess, 3 the Lady in White, 3 White Mare, 3 White Prince, and then obviously 3 copies of the King of the Skull Servants. So you just max these out just so that you have as many names as possible. And they all have like their own unique abilities. So Skull Servant and the Lady in White don't really do anything. They're literally just names. But White Princess, when you normal summon it, you get to send a White Prince from your deck to the graveyard. And White Prince, when it's sent to the graveyard, you get to send a Skull Servant and Lady in White from your deck to the graveyard. So that's why you play 3 copies of Skull Servant and 3 copies of the Lady in White, is because they're able to be sent to the graveyard by White Prince. And then White Mare can allow you to recycle your banished Skull Servant monsters. So White Mare is pretty good because White Prince also has an ability to banish 2 Skull Servants and the White Prince from your graveyard to bring out King of the Skull Servants directly from the deck. So White Mare can allow you to put the cards you banish with White Prince back in the graveyard and give your King of the Skull Servants more attack. And then for the same reason, we have 1 copy of Burial from a different dimension, which allows you to return 3 banished monsters to your graveyard. We've also got Card Destruction, which is a really good card in the deck. So it allows you to trigger all your danger monsters effects to get, well, extra advantage, pop your opponent's cards, survive monsters, etc. We've got Reasoning, which is a really nice card. Allows you to mill monsters and also get monsters onto the field. 1 for 1 is really nice in this deck. Allows you to get King of the Skull Servants directly onto your field. We've got Foolish Burial. This can send White Prince, and then the White Prince will be able to send a Skull Servant and Lady in White. We've got Monster Reborn just because, well, I like Monster Reborn going second decks. It allows you to OTK a little bit easier by just getting big monsters back onto your board. And then the last card in the main deck is 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Just really good going second card, and it puts another monster on the board for OTKs, and our extra deck is not tight at all, so we can afford to play a lot of Super Poly targets. So for the extra deck, we've got Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. So we have so much space in the extra deck that we can afford to play Mega Fleet and not play Cyber Dragon in our own deck. So in case we go up against the Cyber Dragon deck, we have Mega Fleet in the extra deck. Right, so then we've also got just a lot of super poly targets. We've got the Predaplant Triphyovertim, which takes 3 dark monsters and also can negate special summons from the extra deck. You're not going to use that too often, but if you are going first, you can set the super poly and then activate it. So it could come in handy. We've got 2 copies of Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Just in case you draw extra copies of Super Poly later in the game, you can use it again to bring out your second Starving Venom. We've got Dragostapelia, Diplexer Chimera for Salamangreat, and also the Mud Dragon of the Swamp. So just a plethora of Super Poly targets, very nice. We've got Borolo Dragon, and can steal your opponent's cards, and Borosword Dragon, one of the more common monsters to go into, just because Borosword Dragon plus King of the Skull Servants is usually game. We've got Curious, so Curious combos really well with the Dangers, because all the Dangers are dark monsters, but they're also all different types, right? So they allow you to make Curious really easily, and then Curious can allow you to send something like White Prince to the graveyard. obviously triggering White Prince's ability to send a Skull Servant and the Lady in White, getting 3 names in the graveyard, and then also milling 3 cards, potentially more Skull Servants. After all, we do have, like, so many of them in the deck, right? We've got Nightmare Unicorn, Phoenix, and Cerberus, all just for generic removal, and Linkuriboh because we have a lot of level 1s in this deck, and Linkuriboh allows us to link off our Skull Servant monsters and get more names in the graveyard. So without further ado, let's get into some replay.